It is the duty of the free man to resist tyranny at every turn. Every man will either watch his freedom stripped away or take action to protect what he loves. Introducing the A3, the newest revolutionary body armor from Armored Republic. The A3 is the new standard for lightweight multi-hit body armor. A3 plates are incredibly light at 4.6 pounds. The patented design captures fragmentation while remaining multi-hit capable. The A3 will stop up to M80 ball, yet comes in at only 0.7 inches thick. The A3 is the thinnest NIJ.06 compliant or certified composite standalone plate that includes the drop test. The A3 is the first of its kind, patent pending, that combines an alloy strike face with polyethylene backing, revolutionizing body armor technology by providing strength and durability while remaining sleek and maneuverable. The A3 is the new standard in lightweight body armor. The fight against tyranny just got stronger.
Whoa! Whoa!
So good.
This is like
There's a beat.
headline news like you never seen.
Yeah.
The king is coming.
Chill.
I'm gonna bust you in the eye.
Turn your mic off.
Started dropping a line in there, man. All right, it's December 1st. It's good to be with you this Thursday evening on Cross Politic on the Fight Laugh Feast Network. Pastor Toby Chuck Knox, and I'm the Water Boy.
You know, this is played right when the king would come in. Isn't that right, Neil? Neil's so excited about this. Yeah, he's so excited. He gave me a whole history about this.
He's got a big smile back there.
Huge history.
Yeah.
I only heard that part. He was like talking
This
for
is
5 minutes.
Handel's Messiah.
Yes.
And then I started singing B.B. King. Don't you know I'm riding with
I'm going
the
to turn
king?
your mic off again. Keep up. I'll turn your mic off.
Man, it's like
This is quite the intro to the show.
we have a Philistine.
What? No, you don't.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's
okay, I thought you were talking about me.
acting like a barbarian.
Uncircumcised.
No, I'm
Philistine.
taking dominion over it all.
No. It's Christmas.
Yes.
Join our club. What is this plug? During December, the first 75 people to upgrade or join our gold or platinum club membership will get our
Look at that.
32-ounce Kodiak
Beautiful.
Christmas water bottle
Beautiful.
and a free subscription to our Fight Laugh Feast magazine.
Why don't we have one here?
Yeah, where's mine?
It's coming.
By,
It's actually, I think, being
But-
shipped next week.
by joining the Fight Laugh Feast army, not only will you be aiding in our fight to take down secular and legacy media, but you'll also get access to content placed in our club portal, such as past shows, all of our conference talks, and exclusive content for club members that you won't be able to find anywhere else. Lastly, you also always get discounts for our conferences. We don't have the big money of woke media, and so our club members are crucial in this fight.
Yes.
So join the movement, join our army, and you can sign up right now at fightlaughfeast.com and get yourself that Kodiak
Does it come with the music?
water bottle. Music included on Spotify.
On Spotify. All right, so we already talked about or reported on that the Senate voted for the disrespect for Marriage Act.
Yeah.
And it passed. But what's crazy to me is, here you got Mike Lee proposing kind of this, I don't know, olive branch, whatever you want to call it, this amendment to the Disrespect for Marriage Act, trying to carve out freedom of religion.
Right.
And this Disrespect for Marriage Act.
Clearer distinctions,
Yes.
clearer protections.
And so here's the clip of his proposal.
I'm willing to compromise. And in the spirit of compromise, I've publicly stated, and I reiterate here again today, that I will support the legislation if my amendment is adopted. My amendment simply prohibits the federal government from discriminating against schools, businesses, and organizations based on their religious beliefs about same-sex marriage. That's all it does.
Pretty simple.
That didn't get passed.
No.
I still don't like the way he opened it up.
It
I'm willing to compromise.
I don't even think they'd voted to
I'd
debate
vote for it.
No.
I can't do that.
Yeah.
I don't even think I
Well,
could.
this is how far the Republicans, how cornered the Republicans are right now.
Right.
Because we haven't been courageous. We haven't been wise in our engagement with the Senate at all in this conversation.
Please.
I mean, Mike Lee should have come out and said, I'm going to make a proposal that we include pedophilia in this.
Right.
You know, I mean, he should have just gone right at it.
About the
I'm going to include
plus?
bestiality. Let's do this. Let's go all the way.
There is this push right now for religious liberty that I don't like.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't like religious liberty, but the way that we're using it is a way to keep us kind of protected in this little cocoon.
It's like let's carve it out.
It's almost like, hey guys, we won't affect the rest of culture and society so long as you give us our religious liberty. It's like a retreat that I don't like, and it's like they don't believe in the idea and concept.
We went from being the head of the table and inviting many people to join us to just wanting a seat at the table, and now we're down on the floor saying, "Please, sir, can I have a few crumbs?"
I feel like the Rick James has come in. It's like, is this your table? Is this your table? Forget your table. That's what's happened. And now we're saying, hey, listen, I'm willing to compromise.
Right. Can I just have a little edge at the very end?
That's right. So I need some good commentary on this. And I think the best place to go, when we're looking for rich, quality commentary, we're going to turn to The View.
The Republican Party is now out of step with the country, right? And so if you heard Joy, the majority of Americans agree with having access to safe abortions, right? Maybe some conditions. And the majority of Americans believe in gay marriage and believe that there should be marriage equality. What was fascinating to me was they keep on calling this a bipartisan bill. Well, only 12 Republicans voted for it.
Yeah, but God bless them for doing it.
At least those 12. Yeah. But then you have someone like Mitch McConnell, who is in an interracial marriage, who voted against it. So that, I think, explains the entire Republican Party. They are out of step with their base, but they think they are in step with their base.
So, first of all, this is why those 12 Republicans voted for this Disrespect for Marriage Act, because they knew that they'd get charged with being racist. That's why they did it.
Right.
It's like the interracial. I mean, it's such a disingenuous argument.
You know, what was wrong with Mike Lee? Why didn't he say, I'm totally for black people marrying white people and white people marrying black people in the interracial? That nobody is in the last 20 years, or even longer than that, been like, you know what? I tried to go get a license and they wouldn't
couldn't get one
because of interracial marriage.
Yep.
Oh my goodness! Can you believe it? We need laws.
How did Mitch McConnell get married?
All the interracial married people.
How did Mitch get married?
Yeah, right. I mean, he's been married for like a few hundred years.
Yeah.
If you are interracially married, you got to be saying, wait a second, what?
Yeah.
What? Yeah. We didn't care what y'all thought.
We got you. We're protecting you.
Guess what? It's not going to happen to you anymore.
You're safe now. You're safe now.
Here.
Yeah.
So they can use this as make you a punching bag to say, okay. Right. So because you didn't bite on the whole gay marriage, then you hate interracial marriage. Get out of here.
So here's the wisdom of the conservative on the. Can we say conservative?
No.
I'm just mad that we're
air
watching
quotes
the
conservative.
No.
Here we go.
It's so nice to actually celebrate good news on the show for once.
Yeah.
It's just good that this passed. It was the right thing. I wish more Republicans had voted for it. But the sentiment in the country has changed dramatically in favor of marriage equality. And I attribute it a lot to, we talked about, the culture kind of showing what gay families look like, showing what, children who are raised. Representation matters so much.
Film, TV shows.
And how quickly 64% of Republicans 18 to 29 support marriage equality. It's even bigger when you look at just across the board. It's something like an 85% issue. So my party needs to come around and realize this is a very outdated perspective. And we were the pro-family party. If you are pro-family, then you have to support all different kinds of family. I'm a child of divorce. Families look different.
Wait, so where's I'm waiting for the
divorce, interracial marriage?
I was waiting for the conservative. Can we have the conservative on now?
Well, none of those words mean anything.
No.
Yeah.
What you talking about? Family.
Marriage
equality.
Equality.
What is a family?
Marriage equality.
What is it's funny. I think that though they are right, Republicans seem to be out of step. Don't worry, they'll get back in step really quickly and start doing exactly what the rest of the country wants them to do because they want to be in power. So I don't think that's wrong. I think that they were surprised. Some of the Republicans were surprised, and I don't think that the Republicans are principled enough at all to say, wait a second. Marriage is an institution created by God, and we're not moving off that, period. Right. And if you don't like it, we don't care, because at one point in this country, slavery was how everybody else thought.
Right.
But we needed Mormon Mike Lee's proposal.
We didn't have a problem. This country was
real.
Yeah.
Right.
Mormon Mike Lee to fight for us.
Right.
You gotta
Celestial marriage Mike Lee.
Yeah.
You got to remember, this is a country that was said it's okay to go and grab a slave from his runaway master, wherever he is, and bring him back to his runaway master. That's totally fine.
Right.
We what? No, it wasn't. It was wrong.
Right.
And it
because
didn't matter.
God said.
And this is this whole concept of democracy has really been driving me nuts. It doesn't matter how many people vote a particular way.
Majority of Americans, 64%.
We should know better in America that we don't make laws on majority feel. Laws are based on what's been given to us by God. What is the standard by which everything is judged? And that is where your 67% needs to move. Right, that's where everybody needs to move. Here's the standard, move to it. You're drifting. And nobody in the Republican Party is like screaming that out.
Right.
I'm willing to compromise.
Right.
Right.
I don't compromise.
No.
Please, sir.
You're
Can we
bringing
have
the
some crumbs.
judgment of God down on your head. Okay.
Right.
Okay, so now yesterday we talked a little bit about, Apple, China, Twitter, Elon Musk. We just kind of mentioned that and summarized kind of what was going on. Well, today, John Kirby, assistant to the Secretary of Defense for Public Affairs, was asked on Fox about, hey, what are our thoughts on, the White House has been watching Twitter. They're concerned about Twitter because Elon Musk now owns it. What is the White House's concern about Apple being involved in China and the protest that's going on in China?
What does the White House, what do you say to Apple about helping the Chinese government to keep their people under control?
Look, in general, and we've been clear about this all around the world, we want individual citizens, no matter what government they live under, to be able to communicate freely and openly, transparently and reliably. And we've made that clear with respect to Iran, and we certainly continue to make that clear here with respect to China.
Have you made that clear to Apple?
Apple's a private company, Martha. They have to make decisions, and they have to speak for those decisions.
Twitter's a private company.
But here at the White House, here in the administration, we want to see that individual citizens, whether they're protesting or not, but in this case, I know that's the context we're talking about, are able to communicate freely and openly.
But why not say something to Apple? Because we were just told the other day that the White House is keeping an eye on Elon Musk and Twitter. So why would you say that from the podium? You didn't say it, but Karine Jean-Pierre said it, and not call Apple out for helping the Chinese government to suppress their own people's ability to communicate?
Again, I think we've been very clear and consistent on this. Certainly publicly, we've been very open about our desires to be able to see citizens communicate. And Apple, if this is a decision that they're making, then they should have to speak to that. But we can't. And we aren't in the business of telling private companies how to execute their initiatives.
Except that's not what FOIA said.
No.
Right? Remember the Freedom of Information Act?
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
The White House was
Telling
colluding
Facebook.
with Twitter and
Yep.
Facebook and
That's
telling
right.
them what to do.
Yep.
We are
And
not
Instagram. Hey, will you delete this account?
right. Right.
Part of when I first saw this clip, and it was this like 5 minutes.
He's dancing.
But he's doing a good job. His dance moves are great. I just want to say, I like watching him dance better than like watching Karine Jean-Pierre. I feel like she's got a red dot on the back of her and in the front of her.
I don't know.
But one of the things that has really kind of challenged me with this is I want to run the reductio the opposite way. Yeah. So I don't mind that she's pointing out the hypocrisy here,
right.
but point out the hypocrisy in such a way that when the ball drops, it drops on your side. What I mean by that is saying, hey, listen, if you're not willing to investigate or come down hard on Apple for what they're doing with China, then why don't you back off of Musk?
Right.
Instead of saying, hey,
why don't you get into everybody's business?
Right. Instead, and don't run the reductio that way.
Like don't tempt them.
Because these guys are wicked. And they'll be like, I didn't think about
We could
that.
run everything.
You know what?
That's
You
right.
are right. We are going to bite that reductio off because these people are wicked. Because they are wicked, there is not a
Consistency.
They don't care about being inconsistent.
That's right.
It's like this works for us. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
So run the reductio the other way. So if the ball drops that way, it buys you time
Isn't
to make
Twitter
other plays.
a private company?
Right, exactly. And since they are
Shouldn't
a private
they be afforded
company,
the same space that you're affording Apple?
yeah. So do you now need to back off of Twitter? Right?
Yep.
And run the reductio that way. Otherwise, remember when we were talking to Peter Hitchens, the things that we need to protect against right now that keep us from really, really going the way of China is what? Free press.
Yep.
It's not nationalizing the police.
Yep.
We don't want a police force that goes after
incredible.
independent companies, right?
Right.
We don't
Yep.
want that. So push the reductio the other way so that we can buy ourselves some times while we build our own nation back again.
Right.
Is that it?
That was it for me. I thought you were going to say something else that was going to amen that.
Wait,
So,
no, that was great. We got Pastor Ripple.
All right. Oh,
coming
I'm
up.
supposed to
Pastor
be-
Ripple.
I'm supposed to be playing
Coming
this
up. Where's
song.
where's
right
our
here.
Handel's music?
I've got it. It's coming.
Our
It's
Handel's
coming.
music. There he goes again.
Yep.
Here we go.
There you go. You got a problem.
So
now.
who's coming up next?
Pastor Ripple, who's gotten a little pickle
Uh-oh.
You like that rhyme?
Stop
You
it.
can start rapping.
Stop it. Stop it. Quick.
Some
Cut.
more cross politics.
Cut.
This is the first of the Christmas battles already have
Yeah,
started
that's right.
in Texas.
That's right. You
More
gotta
cross
hang around for
politics
this interview.
coming up next.
Hi, I'm Robert Borton, CEO of Classical Conversations, the world's largest classical Christian homeschooling community. I'm launching a new podcast, Refining Rhetoric. If you like cross politics or just listen to hear what crazy stuff they're saying today, you will enjoy Refining Rhetoric. You can find us on your favorite podcast platform. I practice the 15 tools of learning by interviewing great guests, looking at current events, and talking about cryptocurrency.
That's pretty good, Knox.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Cross Politic, where it's Advent.
It is.
All Advent long. Today's culture shifts like sand, but New St. Andrews College is established on Christ, the immovable rock.
Yes,
it's
sir.
a premier institution that forges evangelical leaders who don't fear or hate the world. Guided by God's word, they take the world back because they're equipped with the genius of classical liberal arts and God-honoring wisdom, thanks to a faculty dedicated to academic rigor and to God's kingdom. Find out more today at nsa.edu.
Super important right now. Oof.
For real. We're really grateful to have with us right now on the line Pastor Jeff Ripple.
That's right.
Pastor of Christ Fellowship Church in Taylor, Texas.
Yeah. It's a candidate church in the CREC.
That's different than
Yeah.
Tyler, Texas.
Right.
Tyler and Taylor. Yeah.
He's senior pastor there.
No, don't confuse us.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. My bad.
Christ Fellowship Church there in Taylor. Jeff's been married to Andrea since 1985. The Lord has blessed Jeff and Andrea with 3 children and 15 grandchildren counting. And it says here, yes, all those babies are baptized.
You know,
you
I
go.
knew I like you. You can correct me anytime you like. I just let you know that anytime you like.
So, Pastor Jeff, thanks for coming on Cross Politic.
Thank y'all for having me.
You have been having some fun. Maybe they call it a rodeo. I don't know what with your city over a Christmas parade. I mean, come on. I mean, it's Christmas. You get together, you sing carols, you hand out candy canes.
What are y'all doing in that parade?
Who's
Who's the Scrooge? Who's the Scrooge?
What is going on in Taylor, Texas?
Well, I'm glad you asked. So we've had literally for decades the Taylor Christmas Parade of Lights. And last year, we had our Christmas Parade of Lights like we always do. The Taylor Area Ministerial Alliance has hosted or organized that parade for almost a decade. It was a chamber project for many, many years. And the chamber decided they didn't want to do a Christmas parade. And so to keep the name Christmas, the church took it, as it rightly should. And we've been running it. And last year, there's a group of volunteers. This thing runs like a well-oiled machine. And so these volunteers have been doing this for years. And last year, one of the entries was called Taylor Pride. And they described their entry as having people that were going to be on their float. No mention of drag queens dancing at all. And what we believe happened was the ladies who took the applications in just thought it was a community group proud of Taylor because Taylor has a lot of pride. No pun intended.
Oh, so gracious.
And so in the during the parade, we have 2 drag queens in full regalia up there dancing inappropriately, as you can imagine.
I mean, not full
during
regalia.
The whole parade.
Oh man,
Yeah.
Skimpy regalia.
It could have been fuller regalia. Yeah. And so that was the initial controversy. They were right in front of our largest private school, and those children watched those drag queens dance the whole parade route.
Wow.
So when TAMA met in January, I had a Catholic priest, some other pastors who were upset. How did that happen? And I said, I take full responsibility. I said, I think our volunteers just didn't know. There was no mention of drag queens. And so we decided in January of 2022 that we would not allow that to happen. We did not call anybody. We did not reach out to anyone to say, shame on you. You can't be in our parade. We just very simply changed our entry forms to say Taylor Christmas Parade of Lights. And underneath that banner, it says celebrating traditional biblical and family values.
But you repeat
and
yourself.
then in the rules,
You said
yeah,
Christmas already.
That's really controversial, isn't
Yeah.
it? And then in the rules for the parade, we said all entries must not contradict traditional biblical or family values. That was it. It took about a New York minute for the Taylor Pride group to contact City Hall and complain. And I've worked in this city for a long time and have done a lot of things. And my experience is it takes several committees, a study group, and then council's got to talk about it for I don't know how many sessions before most things get done here. But in less than a week, the city organized its own parade, had it on social media, was promoting it.
Wow.
And as you can imagine, people were like, well, what happened to the Christmas parade? Because their parade is called the Very Merry Holiday Parade.
Oh, it's a holy
and
day.
So, yeah. So that's where the confusion began, and people wondered what happened to the Christmas parade. Why are there two parades? Is there two? Is there one? And so when the city called me, they never said anything negative about our forms. They never questioned anything we were doing. Of course, they knew legally they could not.
Yeah.
There's a decision in 1994 from Boston on this very issue. And surprisingly, the Supreme Court ruled in favor of the veterans group that said you have a right to uphold your values and not let an entry in that's going to contradict your values.
Yeah.
And so they just informed me that they were going to have their own parade and they were going to follow right behind us. And of course, that's their prerogative. But I knew this was going to create much confusion and much controversy, and it has.
Well,
so it's been on Federalist. It's been all over. I mean, a number of organizations have picked it up. Have you submitted
Wait, hold on. Before you jump, when you said follow right behind you, what do you mean? Like they're going to come the next day, or what do you mean? Follow?
Oh no, I mean their parade starts at 7:00 on December 3rd. Our parade starts at 7:00 on December 3rd. And get this: when the city put their social media piece out, they said if there is another group having a parade, our parade will follow behind it. They wouldn't mention us by name. They didn't acknowledge our parade. And that just added to the confusion. Because you would think, logically, a reasonable person would say, if you're going to have two parades at the same time, at least they could say the Christmas parade will go first and then our parade will follow. But they didn't even do that because they didn't, for whatever reason,
so this tactical
did not
move is
want to even acknowledge.
Yeah.
This tactical move is slick here is to make it look like one parade by coming out right behind you, that so that they can tack it right on in the back. That's interesting.
So
now we're gonna make sure that our parade we mark our end. We're gonna have have a blessed Christmas. Thank you for coming. We're gonna have a huge banner that people are gonna carry. That will be the end of our parade.
Yeah.
So,
have you submitted a float in their parade, like a maybe like a pastor's float?
I have not, but I'm from the city because I was contacted by the PD to make sure that I wasn't planning, because the word on the street was that Pastor Ripple's planning a major protest. And he's going to shut down the city parade, and which is not true at all. Right. And the police knew it wasn't true, but they had to do their due diligence. And they told me that there have been some interesting entries in the city parade. They don't know if they're actually going to actually show up. Well, one guy's going to be there handing out coal to children. And then we have a celebration of the I don't know, Dixie Christmas with rebel flags and everything. And they were very upset about that. And I'm like, our parade is just about family values, honoring Christ, celebrating the birth of Christ. I said, I'm not involved in the city's parade, but that that is a great
That's
idea.
funny.
We thought, it would be interesting to see what people might do.
So, Pastor,
because it is all inclusive.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
One of the things that as you were talking, I'm thinking to myself, okay, so it seems like you have yourself an Elijah moment here, where you got these two parades right next to each other, and it's like you guys really have to. I mean, I don't know how you're thinking about this, but as far as if I was you guys, I'd be thinking about we about to throw the absolute best parade possible. That anything that comes after just has to be like diminished. That nobody wants to be there.
Yeah.
And we're gonna rock that crowd so much, so they're so tired that by the time we get done, they want to go home. I want you.
That's what we're hoping for. We're hoping it's always a really good event. It's a great event, a great tradition in our city, and it's really sad that it has come to this. And of course, as you can imagine, there has been so much misinformation put out there, even about the parade, that we changed the rules and everyone it has to be a Christian float, and that's just not true. And we've made that very clear. But as you know, very often the left likes to ignore the truth and emphasize, if not the lie, the exaggeration.
So
embellishment.
What I found fascinating about this story was, you've been doing this parade for years, no controversy, and then there's a little hiccup last year, and you guys make the correction and everything. But what happened was the fight came to you guys. You guys were doing something, being good citizens, doing a great parade, and now the LGBT fight came to you guys. And so in a lot of sense, I think this is a good example of Christians doing good in the city and the fight coming to you guys. And this is actually kind of almost kind of a key battleground right now.
Yeah.
You got to figure out how to kind of win and win well.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's over a bunch of floats and a parade.
Yep.
But this is how God works.
Yep.
He brings you something where it's like, okay, we know this is about the gospel. A bunch of churches are probably going to say this isn't about the gospel. You guys should be all inclusive, love everybody in. But it actually is about the gospel and about the truth of public morality in your city. And so,
absolutely. So let me tell you guys how this really, the parade is a symptom. So in 2021, and if you know where we are, Taylor, Texas is about 30 to 35 miles northeast of Austin.
Yep.
Williamson County is to the north of Travis County, traditionally a very red, very conservative place. Not so anymore. I'm sure you've heard of the Samsung plant, $17 billion investment, which is the beginning of a $286 billion investment in our community.
Golly.
Is that the chip plant?
That's the chip plant.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
In 2021, Taylor, Texas hosted Williamson County's first ever Pride event. So Taylor Pride was a group that flew under the radar until they came out in 2021 with a Pride event. We found out about it a little bit late, and we organized as many churches as we could. And I'm going to tell you what's disappointing to me as a pastor. Most of the pushback I've received has been from the church. And we've got churches that have traditionally been in the parade that aren't going to be in the parade because they don't want to have to pick and choose. To me, if you're a church, it should be pretty easy which parade you're going to be in. You're going to be in the Christmas parade honoring Christ. It seems like. And in 2021, we went to the Pride event to evangelize. We had great dialogue with the people there, but we got tremendous pushback, not only from Taylor Pride, but from the city and from the churches, many of the churches here in our community. Why did you go out there and protest their event? I said, we weren't protesting their event. We were using their event as a means to evangelize. And I had pastors tell me, why don't you just have your own event and invite them? I said, we have an event every Sunday called church, and they're invited every Sunday, but they don't show up. So we decided we would go to their event where we would have a much better opportunity to evangelize. And so Taylor Pride from 2021, this year, they had their second annual event, but they spawned 3 other groups in Central Texas. They are targeting rural communities.
Wow.
And Taylor is not an accidental location. It has become a hub because of its proximity to Austin. And so the Christmas parade was the next target. And they purposefully targeted the Christmas parade. You're exactly right. The battle came to us, and we have got to respond properly.
Pastor, if people want to drive maybe a couple hours and come down to your parade and enjoy some fellowship with you guys, when should they come?
So the parade begins Saturday, December 3rd at 7 p.m. And Taylor, Texas is 20 miles due east of Round Rock on Highway 79.
Round Rock is where Salt Lake Barbecue's at.
Taylor is where the barbecue's at, actually. Taylor is
I know. I'm just saying,
you guys need to come down here, and I'll introduce you to some real barbecue.
Thank you, Jesus. Yes,
I'm
sir.
from Kansas City, so I got good barbecue.
Oh man, that molasses sauce.
Stop it. Pastor, appreciate you and the work that you're doing. I'll be praying for you guys, and you guys have a fantastic parade, brother.
Yes, sir.
As you celebrate the birth of Christ. Appreciate you.
Thank y'all very much. God bless you.
If you're single, get married. If you're married, have you some kids. And if you have some kids, go baptize them. Until tomorrow, love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. Love your neighbor as yourself. Go fight, laugh, and feast. This is Cross Politic. Merry Christmas.
Go start a Christmas parade.
I know, for real.
Yes.
Like,
for real.
The potency of celebrating. Yeah.
Hey, Pastor, you got to run. You got a second or two?
I got a minute.
Okay.
I got a minute.
Hey, Pastor, we didn't get a chance to talk too much about this, but why? I guess you said it was intentional that they came after the Christmas parade, but was there no? I guess you got some sweet. I don't want to be mean at all here, but you got sweet ladies who are helping out. They just had no concept of what was being offered to come at all. Like
that's what I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Like I said, this is so new for us. Taylor has just never had anything, and you can see it in the response of the church. The church does not know what to do with this because they've never had to deal with anything like this. But we've learned really quick, and sadly, there's a lot of sifting going on. I mean, a lot of churches are being identified as, I know this is a sin, but I'm unwilling to stand up and say anything publicly.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had a number of churches tell me that. Or churches just don't come back to the Alliance anymore. I just had this week one of our staunchest churches in terms of support for the Alliance send me a certified letter saying they're out. They cannot be involved anymore. This has become too controversial.
Wow. Golly.
In Texas.
In Texas.
Well, you see.
So it's like the Federalist article said. You think you can run from this? You can't run from it. You better stand and fight because it's here.
Yep.
And when you start talking about the chip manufacturing, you got all these Republicans who passed this bill. I was thinking about it. I was thinking, man, we have no idea that they're planning on putting businesses in places to build out a new type of culture, and it's not a conservative culture. So everybody's all like, "Oh, well, jobs." Who are the people who are going to decide who gets what jobs and where?
HR.
And you say that, it's like, when you got a force like that that's coming into your city, and you see this proxy war that's developing from a parade, how are you thinking about, okay, now it's time to group our forces together and be very strategic about how we act? How are you thinking about that right now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very interesting because Samsung is South Korean, and what I've been told is many of them are either Presbyterian or Catholic.
That's true. Yep.
And so I don't know. I'm curious to see how many of those are actually going to be believers. But Samsung is a woke corporation, as most of them are these days. And so it will no doubt change because it's not just Samsung, it's all the satellite industries that are going to come. We're looking at potentially 120,000 people. When you just consider the number of jobs, to build that plant, it will take equal to our current population just to build that plant.
Oh.
And when you figure there's about 4.5 people associated with every job, whether it's a software engineer or a janitor, you're talking 120,000 people that are eventually going to be here, and they're coming in a shorter period of time than people would like to believe.
Yeah.
And so in that sense, there's a great opportunity for the church, but we better be on our game, and we better be able and be willing to stand up and be courageous, because it's not going to be without the challenges, because there's going to be a lot of wokeness promoted. There's no doubt about it.
We were talking about ideological subversion. I don't know if you heard about that term. We had an old guy from 1984, Yuri Bezmenov. He defected from the KGB and started. He defected because he fell in love with the Indian culture. So he was there to help subvert ideological subversion, plant that, which is basically demoralize, destabilize, crisis, start crisis, and then normalize the new world. And
kind of what's happening in America now.
Come on, exactly. But what happened was, when he got there, whatever type of culture that they had got onto him, and he didn't want to see a culture like that destroyed. And it made me think, like, we are not going to win a culture war apart from Christians having strong families, strong Christian culture that infects the thing that's coming to infect us, right? So they think that, hey, we're going to pollute them. But if we are the kind of people who are loving God and loving our neighbor in the right way and preaching the gospel in multiple different ways, the problem is that they came to us. You know, and I think
that's right. That's why we should be hopeful, because the gospel is powerful.
Right.
That's why we're post-mill.
Right.
And so, you know, in some ways, like this second parade, I hope they double down, and I hope they have 15 drag queens dancing on their float, because because people will see really and truly what this is. You know, when they had their first Pride Parade, they had an 11-year-old drag queen performing in a beer company downtown. Second year, this year, they had 2 adolescent drag queens performing in the beer co with adults, throwing dollar bills.
Oh, I think I've seen those videos.
Giving them tips.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is the kind of thing I'm like, if the church can't rally around this, you know, what is it going to take for you to finally stand up? But it's coming. But, you know, the enemy usually overplays his hand, and God uses it for his glory.
Yeah.
And that's our hope.
That's right. Yeah. No, so yes, the gospel is what allows us to celebrate in the midst of this.
Yeah.
To throw parties,
Yes.
to feast, to give gifts, to invite the friends in. And I do really think that Christians we cannot forget that, I mean, their party is not a party. I mean, people are being crushed, children are being hurt. They're ginning up something, but it's fake, it's false, it's empty. But we have Christ. And that really is more potent. It really is.
Right.
It really is more potent. And that's why they're attacking, I think, a parade, because it's Christian joy. That's they're trying to go for it because they know that's actually where that's where the potency is. So I think we double down. We throw bigger parties.
That's right.
Give more generous gifts. Invite more people in. Let them see the light of Christ.
And hopefully some businesses come, some Christian businesses come too, so that
step up.
And come around. I mean, I've been watching godly Christian. Everybody's looking for this new Christian economy. And I've been watching godly Christian businessmen who are wealthy say, where do I plant my next company at that can have be a blessing for the people there who are gathering around the Word of God.
Good church community there.
And who are living in community and with repentance with each other, and then supporting financially that type of industry, because those kind of people, they're going to bless me too.
Yeah.
I'm going to bless them.
If you guys find people, you send them to Taylor, Texas.
All right. Well, the word's out there.
We're looking for them.
The word's out there. Hopefully we get a lot of people to come out there. Pastor, God bless you.
Thank y'all very much.
Appreciate it. Blessings.
Bless y'all.
While God created the world, the morning stars sang together. After God delivered Israel through the Red Sea, Moses and Miriam led the people in singing. God destroyed Israel's enemies under King Jehoshaphat, while the choir sang. When Jesus was born, the angels sang, and before going to the cross, he sang. God rejoices over us with singing, and one of the only things we know for certain that everyone will be doing in heaven is singing. At New St. Andrews College, we understand that music is not an elective. It is central to our being and identity. We endeavor to train all our students in a joyful and robust musical literacy that will help them shape culture in a Christ-like direction wherever they go. Additionally, we offer the Certificate of Music In conjunction with our bachelor's degree in liberal arts and culture, for students who desire extra music training beyond the regular music courses they will take as a part of the core curriculum. In the certificate program, you won't simply appreciate music or listen to it or talk about it. You will do music. You will study it, analyze it, read it, write it, sing it, and play it. You will receive private instruction in your primary instrument, as well as secondary lessons in voice, piano, conducting, and other instruments. You will receive a solid foundation in music theory and analysis. You will study music history, church music, and music pedagogy. And when you graduate, you will leave with the ability to sing, play, understand, and steward music in whatever church or community you plant yourself. I'm Dr. David Erb, and this is the Certificate of Music at New St. Andrews College.
Struggling to catechize your kids? Is just reading a question and waiting for an answer not engaging enough? Wish there was a better way to train up your children? Now there is.
Question 1. What is the chief end of man? Answer. Man's chief end is to glorify God and to enjoy Him forever.